Well, here's how it's back with another countdown list. I did versus SmackDown versus Raw 2007 storylines. I forgot to mention the Triple H Road to WrestleMania, or the Triple H WrestleMania storyline, which was called Revolution, whereas that storyline was okay. It was actually one of the better storylines in that game, where Triple H put you on makes you go to SmackDown to face Orton and Batista to get the stipulation for that title match, and yeah, I forgot to mention that when I did that. My bad. But I did put into the comment section in that video. Um, Now let's talk about the storylines and or the road every storyline in SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. You guys obviously know how much I'm not a fan of this game at all. No legends, barring the DLC section. Yeah, it's just a copy and paste game basically, but not fun at all. I honestly prefer SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 over this. But I already mentioned I did review that game already, so I already talked about that game during my SmackDown vs. Raw trilogy. But anyways, let's talk about this every road to WrestleMania from SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. Yeah. Now there are only, let me check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 storylines in the game. I count 2 as 1 because there's a tag team in it. Let's talk about everything. Tomorrow will be episode 23 of Showdown, and then on the secondary channel this Thursday, WCW Spring Stampede 2000. Click notification bell so you're notified with that one when that video goes up. But yeah, let's get on to these storylines. So, dead last, I had to go with CM Punk because it's the ECW brand in 2008. This storyline is basically when Punk won the ECW title from Tommy Dreamer, and then the belt got vacated because it was too extreme. Then Elijah Burke won the ECW title. Taz comes out of retirement, and there are 2 endings to this one. Either you beat Taz and earn his respect, or you beat Tommy Dreamer and earn his respect. But honestly, this is a storyline I don't like in the. This is one Road to WrestleMania storyline I did not like in the game, honestly. So basically, yeah, that's the worst story Road to WrestleMania in the game. CM Punk. The second one I didn't like it is the tag team finish of Batista and Rey Mysterio. They win the tag team titles from Miz and Morrison, and it doesn't matter who you chose at the end. If you're Rey Mysterio and wins the Royal Rumble, Batista gets the World Heavyweight title, gets Edge, or vice versa. But like with CM Punk, there are 2 storylines for these two. If Rey wins the world title, it was just a one-on-one match between you and Batista, and vice versa, or it'll be a triple threat match between Mysterio, Batista, and Edge. And if Batista wins the world title, Rey saves Batista, or vice versa. So it's just a so road to WrestleMania. It was Batista and Rey Mysterio I had to put on there. And now, then we get to the 4 actual good Road to WrestleManias. Triple H. It's basically, if you want to reunite Evolution or DX. If you let Orton win, you align with him and reform Evolution. And WrestleMania comes, you face Orton and Shawn Michaels in a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. It's kind of WrestleMania 20th, but instead it's Randy Orton it. And Triple H wins the WWE Championship. Or if you side with Shawn Michaels, you reform DX, and it's just a one-on-one match between Shawn Michaels and Triple H, which led to, Triple H winning the WWE Championship, and DX is not breaking up anytime. Not at all. So, yeah. Yeah, the Triple H one is really good in this storyline, in this Road to WrestleMania. Number 3 I have on here is John Cena, because America, fuck yeah. But this one, it's one of those storylines where you don't go after a title, which is kind of weird. This and the last one I talk about. And I was wondering, who is the WWE Championship in this Road to WrestleMania? They never mention it. MVP formed a group called Better Than Utopia, which was MVP, Umaga, and William Regal. I'm sorry, Umenga, as William Regal called him. You fight for America against MVP, who is also from American City. Let's do, WrestleMania in an Iron Man match between Cena and MVP. I don't understand why MVP was on John Cena's Road to WrestleMania in this one and SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. But yeah. Now we get to the top 2. And also Tony, which is a made-up character they made for this game. To get to the top 2 now. I have to put Chris Jericho at number 2, unfortunately. It's the whole Masked Man storyline where Chris Jericho, after qualifying for a Fatal 4-Way match, there's these cryptic messages, and Chris Jericho thought Finley was the one but Finley said he bought a DVD and play a video after his match, and the cryptic messages kept coming, and then there was a Masked Man, and Chris Jericho wants to find out who the Masked Man is. The 2 main suspects are Mr. Kennedy and Randy Orton. There are 2 differences in those storylines. If you blame Mr. Kennedy, it becomes a fatal 4-way match between Jericho, Randy Orton, John Cena, and Mr. Kennedy. The difference in the end is Jericho wins and clotheslines both Kennedy and Orton out of the ring. But if you chose Randy Orton wins the WWE Championship from John Cena, who got bloody up the week before when you unmask him. And then it becomes a one-on-one match between you and Chris Jericho, and Randy Orton. Chris Jericho wins the WWE Championship. And Chris Jericho wins the title and throws Orton out of the ring. My number 1 best Road to WrestleMania is The Undertaker, because it's the whole thing with the urns, and Boogeyman becomes like a big threat to The Undertaker, which, really? You're turning Santino or Finley into zombies. I may do a video on something like times WWE games get really weird. Something like that. And this led to, WrestleMania between The Undertaker versus the Boogeyman in a Hell in a Cell match. And the match happened, and you basically beat the shit out of the Boogeyman and murder him in a casket. Literally, Undertaker just chokeslams Boogeyman into a casket. Druids close the lid. Undertaker does his pose, and basically he kills the Boogeyman on live pay-per-view. Yeah. That's how that happens. That's another one that doesn't include a title at WrestleMania. Even though this one has Great Khali as World Heavyweight Champion. Why? I don't know. Yeah, maybe the next countdown is I do times where WWE games get weird. I know this gen's gaming did something like that, but there are more examples like that. Like in the current WWE game, 2K24 when they had something weird like that. But anyways, maybe I'll do something like this again. Bye. But yeah. But anyways, like this video, comment down below, subscribe to this channel right here, and click the notification bell. And again, like I said before, and also my secondary channel, Tao's Retro Review, so you'll see this Thursday, WCW Spring Stampede 2000. Yeah, you can see, that's not the logo they used in 2000, that's like the one from like 97. Regardless. Goodbye.